What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for sticking with me. I got behind a little bit on something I had to take care of, but we are here ready to talk about this devastating loss to the Baltimore Ravens, 24-16. We're gonna definitely talk about it, and we're gonna talk about where the heck does this team go next. Let's get this show started.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody
What's going on, Tight Nation? How's everybody doing? Welcome into a afternoon edition of TNT Postgame. I am your man, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth. We're gonna see if I can get through an entire episode without my microphone going out, but that's gonna be a test in and of itself. But definitely make sure y'all share this show out to everybody. Definitely hit it up on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. I thank everybody for tuning into the show. And definitely follow me on Facebook at TNT Enforcers. Also on Twitter, X at TNT Blue Enforcer. And on Instagram at Titans _N _truth. Definitely follow me there. I want to definitely make sure, those super chats are definitely appreciated. I appreciate everybody that joined me for the live stream yesterday. Definitely had a lot of response on that, so I definitely do appreciate everybody doing that and being there with us, even though it was so early in the morning. Also, make sure y'all smash that like button. Go ahead and hit that like button, and definitely help me and help the algorithm, so to speak. Definitely help me out with that. And then also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, ring that bell, and hit all on your notifications so you definitely know when I go live. So that way you too could be a part of the show. So definitely do that, and I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. And last but not least, of course, find me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, you Google and Apple Podcasts as well. Definitely find me there and wherever you get your podcast from. So you definitely be a part of that experience. Just in case if you can't watch the entire visual, you could definitely go back and watch the audio. So I definitely thank everybody for that. But I know a lot of us are tired of talking about this game already, but let's go ahead and do that just once more. The Titans fall in London 24-16. And I know yesterday and really even today, pretty darn depressing for all of us right now. And I see we have Miss Jackie is here. Over Chicken says, I'm at the crossroads with this team. Don't know what to do. I don't know if I should find a new team or not. Vrabel is hurting this team and won't do anything about it. Neither will Rand or Amy. And we're definitely going to talk about a lot of that. Um, we're going to definitely talk a lot about that. I know Miss Jackie's responding to that. DO9, what's up? Um, we got our resident troll, XD Gamer, definitely here, but definitely appreciate him having in. As Jack said, thanks for having the show right now. I definitely no problem. I just figured, I had to work earlier today. I had to do some overtime. So while it was fresh in my mind, definitely go ahead and talk about it. Um we got Reggie B up in here. Dio9 said they need to put Levis out there and see what they got with him because we need to get the quarterback position right, which we do now. Chrysler says trade deadline help. Big dog. What's up, everybody? What's up with you? Derek says, always remember when you feel it down, you got to coach better, play better. uh, and then Titan Fox is up in here too. But yeah, glad to have everybody up in here. 24-16 final score. It was a loss, and it wasn't really even that close in London. And it's a pretty devastating loss, if you ask me. And the Titans, I think, lost for a lot of the wrong reasons. And it's, you know, it's pretty depressing with everything that happened in this game. Of course, the stats are underneath. But here are some realizations that I came to. And first, here by Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory, did we happen to follow any of them? And I think there is a very easy answer to that question. Number one, I said cash in touchdowns for field goals. Problem was, we kicked quite a few field goals and only had one touchdown the whole time. Nick Folk had 3 field goals, no touchdowns. Only had one touchdown, and that was after a big play by Derrick Henry. We had some decent drives, but ended up stalling out. So, not very good. In the red zone, you were 1 for 4 in the red zone. So that's not very good. And I think over the course of the season, 7 for 21 in the red zone. Not very good. Number 2, I said don't lose yourself along the way. I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of y'all. The Tennessee Titans have lost themselves. They have lost themselves altogether. A lot of what I've heard, the Titans don't have an identity anymore. Used to be you have an identity, and they're going through an identity crisis. And it seems like they're trying to transition out of the whole run first thing, which I don't think Mike Vrabel is a big fan of. And the transition is not working out very well. So that's definitely an issue. You lost yourselves. Tough, physical. The whole time, the Baltimore Ravens dominated you the entire time. I mean, the Ravens, the Ravens kicked your tail in a lot of different ways. 8 of 16 on third down. They converted. They controlled the ball for 35 minutes and 42 seconds to your 24-18. And most of that in the first half, you barely had the ball 10 minutes. They had the ball more than double the time you did. That third quarter was pretty good, but after that, it went to crap. So the Titans have an identity crisis. They have lost themselves. Number 3, I said keep Lamar contained. For the most part, they did, but Lamar was still pretty effective. He got the ball out quickly. We only had 1 sack on him, and I think we only really hit him like once. And that was a Harold Landry sack, which, got lucky that he stayed square and didn't get shook up. So we didn't do a good job there. And last but not least, find your balance and do your job. Obviously, we didn't do our job very well. Offensive line continue to struggle in this game. Receivers were not getting separation. NWI dropping a big touchdown pass. Dropping a big touchdown pass that was right there. You know, Tannehill wasn't really looking good before the injury. Then he gets hurt. Defensively, even though we had a turnover, you still had issues. I mean, Tannehill, of course, had the interception, but Sean Murphy Bunny had the nice pick. And, things going on defensively as far as not getting any pass rush whatsoever. Big Jeff having a stupid penalty, even though I understand it kind of being warranted. OBJ was wrong, but you can't retaliate like that because it is never the instigator that gets caught. It's always the second person that retaliates that gets caught by the refs, that gets the flag thrown. Secondary continues to be an issue, Kevin Byard included. Gave up big plays yet again. So that balance was not found, ladies and gentlemen, in this loss. And I'm going to get to some of y'all comments now because I'm going to tell you 4 realizations I found out in this game. And it's going to tell you a whole lot. And another thing, do your job. Special teams. Kyle Phillips fumbling, muffing a punt right at the end of the first half. When you got to be smart enough to know, let it go. You only had a couple of seconds left instead of giving the Ravens an easy 3 points. I thought they were gonna try for a 60-yard field goal with Justin Tucker because he holds the record. But they punted the ball, gave you a gift, and let you get out of there. But instead, you give up 3 points. When it could have been just 15-3 at the half. It's 18-3. And it makes it that much harder to come back. So a lot of things went wrong yesterday. Vidal says, can't wait to see them Oiler uniforms. I mean, I'm actually interested in that. I may come to that game for that reason. Plus, it'll probably be good to kind of get away and see some people and stuff. Mike Vrabel needs to do what Frank Reich did for Thomas Brown. I mean, if he's calling any type of plays, any type of responsibility, I agree he does need to give it up. AZ Mick, what's going on? Reggie B said that loss to me should be a wake-up call for Amy and the powers that be. I agree. Kyle Phillips fumbling the ball. We might win the next game. We only win at home. Nick Carter says it's folk season. Vrabel, they're saying he should have went for it instead of kicking the field goal when they were down 18-3, took the field goal down 18-6. And I do agree with that one in a sense. It's like right now you need points, you need touchdowns, and you had a chance there, but you decided to kick the field goal. That's kind of a coward's way out. We don't want to run the ball anymore. I mean, it does seem like that. Yep, we miss AJ. And identity's not working. Yep, Tim Keller, babysitter Todd Downing, Shane Bowen by Jim Schwartz. Derek said, Ravens don't run away from their identity. The Titans do. I mean, we got a pick from Sean Murphy Bunny, but it doesn't lead to anything. AZ Big said last place. Critics were right. Right now, yeah, we are proving them right. DO9 says sell, sell, sell. We finna get to that. O-line was playing good, but then they, had some issues. I mean, there was some issues which we are going to address. So I'm loving the interaction. I'm loving the comments and everything. Tight Hugo says, is anyone else tired of seeing Vrabel with the confused look and squint in his eyes? Time to put him on the hot seat. Vrabel doesn't adjust. And let's talk about that. Because there were some realizations that I came to in this game. And some things I kind of realized. Number one is the Tennessee Titans are not a good football team right now. And again, these are realizations. These are it's time to come to Jesus. It's time for us to be honest with ourselves about this football team in general. And it's time to face the truth. And I say all of this because I love this football team. I'm dedicated to this football team, just like a lot of you are. I love this team. Been a fan for 25 years. Been a fan for over 25 years of my life. 28 to be exact. 27 years to be exact, excuse me. And I have never felt as low about this football team as I do today, or as I did yesterday. I was having a conversation on a live with a few fans. Some of you saw it. Miss Jackie was on there. And it's time to face facts. The Tennessee Titans are not a good football team. At 2-4 back in 2018, we had a chance to we turned things around. We had the talent. We needed a shot in the arm. And Tannehill was that shot in the arm. I don't know if we have that shot in the arm this time. It's, what happened in 2018 is not going to happen this time, ladies and gentlemen. This is just reality. This is the reality that we're facing right now. The Tennessee Titans are just not a good football team. And there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, there is the thing of not having the talent. But there's more to that. And I see a lot of people still want to blame John Robinson for everything. And you are fair within your right to do so. However, and I'm, sharing the show out, make sure y'all do the same. And that is, you can't be blaming John Robinson all the time. We're past that now. John Robinson is gone, children. He gone. Ain't coming back. So your scapegoat is gone. You can't put it all on John Robinson. Now, did John Robinson have some bad drafts? Absolutely. 2020 class sucks. 2021 class kind of heading down that same path. So yes, on that note, there is a little blame to be thrown. at John Robinson, but not as much anymore. He's not in the building anymore. Now, I know a lot of y'all want to still say John Robinson, he's still having a lingering effect. In a way, it does. However, Amy got rid of that. She got rid of that. But it's not just talent that's the issue. Making costly mistakes, can't make big plays, receivers can't separate, people can't line up in the right formations, muff punts. It all attributes to this fact. Realization number 2. Everybody and I blame Nashville media for this. And I blame complacency of the team on this. Mike Vrabel, everybody keeps wanting to say, Mike Vrabel, he's a good coach. He's a good coach. And he's such a great coach. And and he'll get a job in 5 seconds. The second you let him go, he'll get a job in 5 seconds. Here's my thing. Okay, if Mike Vrabel could get a job so quickly, let him. Let him. Because the fact of the matter is, this is a what have you done for me lately league. And as I'm sharing this, I spoke, and I'm going to mention this. I spoke to a colleague. And and trust what I tell you, I got all the respect in the world for this colleague. And and I don't think and we were having a conversation about this team. And she said something, and I tried to understand it. And what was said to me was, and like I said, I'm not going to go over the whole conversation because, but just kind of, just kind of streamlining it. So I said on Twitter, we might need to go ahead and fire Vrabel. He's losing this team. And this colleague said, come on, fire Vrabel, come on. I mean, he didn't build this roster, and it still has many issues because of John Robinson. Give him and ran a couple of seasons because, yes, that's what it's going to take. He'll win titles elsewhere, I guarantee it. He's made ridiculous chicken salad with what he dealt with the past 3 seasons. And, we, of course, went on and had a conversation, but that's kind of streamlining it. And what I say to that is, no, he's not a good coach. If he can win titles elsewhere, why is he not doing it here? If he's such a great coach, where's our Super Bowl championship at? Where's our AFC championship at? This is a what have you done for me lately league. And I get it. Yes, you got to pick good talent to be able, you got to have good talent to have a good football team. But you also have to have a good head coach to be able to get the most out of that talent. And I see we got a lot of other people here. Miss Sandra, how you doing? Cheers from London. I know you probably heading back. And I'm going to get to all y'all comments in just a second. So trust me, I ain't leaving that out. And so, you know, we kept going saying, you know, like what coach could do what he's done, you know, with all of this? What new coach is doing, you know, so well? And I answered with this. Let's start in our own division. Look at what Houston is doing right now with DeMeco Ryans at head coach. Even though I'm not a fan of the defensive coach, but DeMeco Ryans is doing a pretty good job so far. And I mean, right now, if you look at this division where we're starting out, we're dead last. Houston is slowly climbing up. They're 3-3. With CJ Stroud at quarterback, doing pretty good right now. I think he just threw his first interception this week or 2 weeks ago. CJ Stroud doing pretty darn good right now. Nico Collins is becoming a go-to receiver for them. Houston is starting to build something slowly. Indianapolis, yes, even though Anthony Richardson is down, they're 3-3 right now. And they got Gardner Minshew. And they beat a Jaguars team, and they beat a Ravens team we couldn't beat. And it looks like Jacksonville's going to run away with the division. Okay, and there's another example. Trent Baalke was a new general manager, hired Urban Meyer. Within the first year of him being general manager and Urban Meyer being the head coach, they were hired together. Halfway through the first year, 13 games to be exact, Trent Baalke fired Urban Meyer. Because they knew, yeah, Urban Meyer ain't going to be good for this team. Fired him. With Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, they go get Doug Peterson, a coach who's won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback and with an injured Carson Wentz. Comes in and has saved Trevor Lawrence's career. Trent Baalke didn't have his first draft for Doug Peterson. He has the players he drafted for Urban Meyer. Doug Peterson was given Trevor Lawrence. Now understand, Trevor Lawrence is a hell of a talent. But Urban Meyer was about to ruin Trevor Lawrence's career. Trevor Lawrence was stinking as a rookie at first. Doug Peterson comes in and has saved that young man's career. And now Jacksonville is the very problem I said they were going to be. And Houston and Indy are starting to look a little bit better than they were originally projected to be. All those teams are slowly starting to move up. Titans are just marching in place. They're like, Titans were here, the other teams were below. Those other teams just started creeping up and passing them by. Titans just staying right there, not trying to move up themselves. And Vrabel just thinks everything is fine. Everything is peachy. Nothing's wrong. Don't need to make no changes. Now, I will give them credit, and it was probably more out of a necessity than by, making a good judgment. It was more of kind of had to do it, is put MPF at left tackle over Andre Del Piccolo. And that experiment seems to be over. And so Vrabel's not a good coach. And Amy Adams Strunk needs to see the light and let Rand Carthon have control. Because Vrabel is being exactly like Bill O'Brien was in Houston. Thinking he know everything, trying to control everything, and is going to eventually run this team into the ground. Amy Adams Strunk and Rand Carthon have a chance to stop that before it happens. And I am not saying fire Mike Vrabel right now. But I think that conversation needs to start. And I think Mike Vrabel's seat needs to be getting hot now. But let the Nashville media tell you, and I'll say most of them, not all. Let the media tell you, oh, Vrabel's still doing a great job. He's still a good coach. He'll still be a winner. No need to fire him. No need to fire him at the end of the season. Oh, let's put him on the hot seat next year. Right now, the Tennessee Titans would be picking 8th in the draft. You would have a chance, maybe not at a Caleb Williams, but depending on what happened, because Caleb Williams had an awful game against Notre Dame. But you may get a chance at a Drake May. You may get a chance at a Quinn Ewers. You might get a chance at one of the top offensive linemen in the draft. You might slightly get a shot at Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe, if things continue. Of course, we need teams like Minnesota, teams like the Giants to start winning a little bit more and increase our chances. And by the way, I hope that Damian Harris, the guy in Buffalo, good word is he is out of the hospital. Had a neck injury, but does have full control of his body. Definitely thank God. Thank God for that. Thank God that he looks like it's going to be okay, because that was a pretty scary situation. But right now, the Tennessee Titans are slated to pick 8th in the draft and would have a chance to make some changes. And it starts at the top. Vrabel's got to go. He is not a good head coach anymore. So the national media and some of y'all out there who just believe so much in Vrabel, stop with this narrative of Vrabel is such a good coach. No, he's not. If he's such a good coach, why have we lost 11 of our last 13? And we're not getting killed by injuries like we have in years past. Yes, we have a couple of injuries. Tier Tart, Treylon Burks, to be more. Ryan Tannehill now. But last year we were getting wrapped. Everybody was hurt. You're still got quite a few of your good players still going. And yet, everybody want to say Vrabel's such a good coach. He can win elsewhere. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mike Vrabel coaching the Arizona Cardinals. He going to lead them to a Super Bowl with that roster? No. Put Mike Vrabel with, say, the New England Patriots. They don't really have a lot of talent right now. Think he going to win with that roster? Probably not. They'll run him out of town as much as they want to run Bill Belichick out of town right now. Let's go somewhere else. Is Mike Vrabel winning a bunch of titles in Washington with Sam Howell at quarterback? I mean, Washington is pretty decent, has a nice defense, but I don't see him winning in Washington. I don't see him winning in Tampa Bay. I don't see him winning in Carolina. So tell me where Mike Vrabel will go and he wins a title. It would have to be a situation where The talent is perfect around them. San Francisco, yeah, I mean, they got talent like that. But I'm looking at teams that have really bad teams that could be looking elsewhere for head coaches. Mike Vrabel ain't going to win in none of those places. Even if there is a couple of pieces of decent talent, he'll run them into the ground. So stop this narrative of Mike Vrabel being such a damn good coach. He's not a good coach anymore. You've lost 11 of your last 13. I think people are still forgetting that. You lost 7 in a row to end the year, and you've lost 2 of 6 now. And right now, I don't think there's a white knight that's going to come in and save this team. This team is heading down a dark road, and there is no end in sight. So Vrabel's not a very good coach. And I'm going to go ahead and get some of y'all comments because I've been probably talking your heads off. But it's the truth. Vrabel is not a good coach. And I'm getting sick and tired of everybody talking about, oh, don't blame Vrabel. Don't blame Vrabel. It's time to hold Vrabel accountable. Vrabel, like Ryan Tannehill, a lot of us wanted to blame Tannehill, and I'm out on Tannehill. I've been out on Tannehill. Tannehill is a problem, not the problem. Secondary is a problem, not the problem. The Titans have a disease. Tannehill, the secondary, the offensive line, they are symptoms. The disease falls on Mike Vrabel. And again, when I've always said this before, sometimes if it's 1 or 2 players not playing well, it's normally those 1 or 2 players. If an entire unit is not playing well, it start looking at the coach. Howderling, I don't think, is a good offensive line coach. Tim Kelly is struggling to score in the red zone. The entire offense can't seem to get past 16 points. The defense that's supposed to be your strength looks like they've taken a step back. All of that, not putting Derrick Henry in the game first and goal at the 1 is coaching malpractice. That all falls at the head of Mike Vrabel. A lot of times, we always say a quarterback can make others better. A head coach can make players better. So, I'm going to get to some of y'all comments. Yes, John Robinson, deserves some blame. He traded away A.J. Brown like an idiot. Titan South says, Willis ain't it, and we haven't seen Levis yet. Well, we're about to find out. John Robinson may be gone, but Vrabel is still with the team. Agreed. And yes, he missed on a lot of picks, traded A.J. Brown. That's what got him fired. 57 KP says, Mike and Ryan got to go. Well, Tannehill is hurt, and he may have played his last snap as a Titan. A cluster. It is. Not all NFL players can make it out as NFL head coaches. It's Vrabel's fault, too. It comes down to coaching. Big Dog says, Vrabel is too damn stubborn. Absolutely. And a lot of the media want to make excuses for Vrabel, making it seem like, oh, Vrabel isn't the whole problem. It starts at the top. Jackie's like, who cares if you get another job? Bye. Everyone isn't good for the situation. And I agree. If the rumor is that they traded Mike Vrabel to the New England Patriots for a first and a third round pick or something like that, I will happily help Mike Vrabel pack his bags. Miss Amy's going to end up firing Vrabel if the madness keeps up. I think it's happening because with Malik Willis ain't 100% there, and we don't know what Will Levis is, and we're about to find out. And Kaharski saying the whole locker room is in shambles and doesn't know what to do. And I saw a tweet from a guy, Easton Freeze, on Twitter. He said, you know, there are times after a loss, you go into the tight locker room and they will preach patience. And, preach patience, stick with us, we're going to figure it out. He said this time, going to the locker room, that patience has turned to frustration. And Big Jeff calling out people saying, hey, we need to find out who really wants to be here. That starts at the top. Vrabel's message is getting lost. He's losing the team. And once a team starts to tune out the head coach, it's over. You've lost the team. We need a shot in the arm, and maybe replacing Vrabel could be that shot in the arm. Some people said Vrabel, they didn't arrive in London in time, and that could be another part. Start the rebuild. I mean, I'm starting to think that too. Vrabel's time is expired. I'm starting to really lean to that. If Vrabel could go win elsewhere, where's our ring? I know that's right. The miss is coming in. Playoffs? Playoffs? We're just trying to win a game. Exactly. Somebody talking about, well, if we focus on the division game, we could still make the playoffs. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? You kidding me? You kidding me? You got to be kidding. This team is nowhere close to the playoffs. I'm sorry. I know for some of you who are just gun-ho, want to be all optimistic all the time, ain't going to happen today. I'm on the ledge and I'm about to jump off. This season is over. It's over. Just deal with that. It's over. Now, officially the season isn't over because we still got 11 games to play. But I was talking to people last night. I said, I'm feeling so low right now, I can watch the rest of the season with an open mind. And I'm just going to see who steps up. Who will I have that I could build this team with when this rebuild starts? Because the rebuild's about to happen now. And I told all of y'all last year or a couple of years ago, no, I told you last year or earlier this year, the rebuild is coming. It's coming sooner rather than later. Life without Derrick Henry is coming. So I know some of y'all do not want to hear this, but it is time for y'all to understand that it's going to be life without Derrick Henry. This will be life without Kevin Byard. Henry might get traded in the next couple of weeks. And I know for a lot of y'all that is blasphemy. And let me preface this. I love Derrick Henry too. Let me tell y'all that. I love Derrick Henry too, just as much as y'all do. I want to see Derrick Henry become the all-time leading rusher of this team. I want him to retire a Tennessee Titan. But I also think we need to do what's best for Derrick Henry and let him go to a team where he has a chance to win a Super Bowl. That man deserves it. Yes, that would completely destroy the team. But sometimes it's the darkest before the dawn. Sometimes to really build something up, you need to tear the old foundation down. And Rand Carthon needs to tear it down by getting rid of Mike Vrabel, maybe trade Derrick Henry, trade Kevin Byard, get some capital so you can start the rebuilding process. Have a bunch of draft capital. You're going to have almost close to $90 million, maybe more in cap space next year. Go ahead, tear it down, and let's prepare to start the rebuild. Get a jump on things. Defon's thinking this is a knee-jerk reaction. that maybe I'm overreacting. And maybe I am. And if the Titans turn it around and have a winning record and make the playoffs, you know what? I'll be more than happy to eat crow. I'll be more than happy to eat crow. The fan base is toxic. No, the relationship with the Tennessee Titans is toxic. Let me tell you this. I tell all of y'all, you better have your alcohol and your blood pressure medication. Tidy Hugo says, sucks Houston seem to hit the jackpot with CJ Stroud. And there's another reason with Vrabel. If Diana Rossini put out that report right before the draft that the Titans and the Cardinals were about to finish a trade to trade up so that the Titans could get CJ Stroud at 3. Houston had no intention of drafting CJ Stroud until Mike Vrabel opened his mouth. And I know that was Mike Vrabel who did that because Diana Rossini usually reports something that Vrabel said. Ty Khan, can we get Prime as our head coach? I mean, right now, Colorado ain't looking too hot right now. Just lost a 29-point lead to a lowly Stanford. They're 4-3. I don't know if I want Prime as the head coach. I mean, he will be an ejection for just a little while. And that game against Miami is going to be a nightmare. Houston and Indianapolis are 9 and 8 seeds. That means they are right there on the cusp of possibly making the playoffs. Can we flip Tannehill anymore? His trade value tanked now. I think Tannehill's trade value is down because of the injury. Urban Meyer was just full of so much toxicity. And right now, it's kind of getting there with the Titans. Titans getting worse, Mr. Pocket Hercules. I agree. Give Rand both the reins. Lou Man says, we ain't the 49ers. Rand needs to be fired first. Rand just got here. Rand just got here. Rand hasn't even been able to fully build a team of his yet. Now, I agree. He's tried to do that. He's trying to do that. Now, some of the guys aren't working. I mean, Arden Key ain't really giving us the whole bunch of sacks that he was claiming he was getting in training camp, which seems like it's more of a product of how bad Andre Dillard is. And that was the question. Was Arden Key that great, or was Andre Dillard that bad? We're starting to see Andre Dillard was that bad. The media don't know anything. So, yeah. And Dion says, I be calling the media out all the time and some of these YouTubers. I mean, I get it. Miss Bim says, need to do something before the season ends. I mean, some moves need to be made. Shador Sanders. You know, Shador, I got to go back and look, but Shador, I mean, he's pretty decent, but he's got to be behind a better offensive line. He will be struggling behind this offensive line, too. We need a receiver, too. I agree. Quarterback from LSU, Jaden Daniels. I'm not really feeling LSU right now. KJ Jefferson could be a nice late pick. We need an offensive mindset. I agree. D-Hop probably like, why did I sign here? Yeah. So at the end of the day, and I get it. I mean, that's another situation. Would Mike Vrabel win in Vegas? That's another good question. Don't blame Rand for trying to do it Vrabel's way. Yeah. Vrabel, yeah, because Miss Amy wants Vrabel and Rand to collaborate. And that's the thing. Rand trying to do it by Vrabel way. Vrabel gonna run, get him fired and run it to the ground. And I know a lot of y'all want to check out, and I get it. But, and I appreciate everybody. And everything. We have a hard enough time filling Nissan Stadium. And, now it's like you got to rebuild now because you got to be able to have a nice product going into that brand new stadium we're about to build. Vrabel's in charge. Vrabel's Amy's guy. Rand can't do anything without losing his job. I mean, right now, Rand needs to go to Miss Amy and say, Miss Amy, you hired me as general manager. Can I try to do my job? Can I try to do my job? I don't think Mike Vrabel is the guy to lead this team. I would like to be able to hire my own head coach. I would like to be able to take this team in a different direction. I'll be saying if we lose to Atlanta, I might give up. The seat's gonna get hotter with the more losses mounting. Now, a lot of people will say, well, the schedule gets easier. We'll have the third easiest schedule remaining. None of those wins are guaranteed. Look at what happened yesterday. The Eagles lose to the Chiefs. The Eagles lost to the Chiefs. The Eagles lost to the Jets, excuse me, without Aaron Rodgers, but they got a hell of a defense. With P.J. Walker at quarterback, the Cleveland Browns beat the San Francisco 49ers. Undefeated no more. The Texans beat the New Orleans Saints. I see that. I know there's some other sound back there. I'm going to get rid of that. But, the Giants nearly beat the Bills if they didn't make that stupid mistake to end the first half. If they had made that stupid mistake to end the first half and could have took some points, the Giants were about to upset the Bills yesterday. So, the fact of the matter is, I wouldn't do it in the middle of the year. All I'm saying is the conversation needs to be had. It's time. It is time. Stephen BOE, what's up with you? Mario, it's bad coaching when they keep putting Harold Landry in coverage and not rushing the passer. Yeah, Harold Landry trying to cover Zay Flowers. And that's what a touchdown is. Will Levis, until you see what you have in Will Levis. Yes, we do need to see what Will Levis is. We also need to see if Malik Willis, with a full week of preparation, can do the job. I know last year, and again, Malik did not get a fair shake last year. They put him in a position to fail. They need to put him in a position to succeed, but I am not confident they're going to do that. Third realization, because I know I've talked your head off about Vrabel. Dillard and Fulton got benched. Dillard got benched right in the first start of the second half for Nicholas Petit-Frere, who looked quite a bit better at left tackle. And I think that pretty much ends the Andre Dill Pickler experiment at left tackle. He's done. The Titans probably haven't landed yet. And they haven't probably gotten back to Nashville yet. I haven't heard any updates on Tannehill just yet either. Um, but I am, I am under the belief with, and Darren Rob says if Malik ain't it, I'll accept it. But damn, give him a full week, and I agree, and I agree with Tyler Rowland of Locked On Titans. I say you give Malik, you get Malik and Will Levis prepared during the bye week. You give them both some reps during the bye week. I know they normally say players need to get away. No, Levis and Malik need this week to get some preparation. And I think you give Willis a couple of games. And if he just looks awful and doesn't look like he has no chance to lead this team to a victory, then you go to Levis the rest of the way. You give Willis at least 2 to 3 games to see if he can do it. If he doesn't look like he can do it, you go to Will Levis. That's what I think they should do. And I hear there is a press conference today. But Dillard out for NPF, and I will say NPF looked quite a bit better than Andre Dillard. Fulton got benched for Trey Avery, but then later in the game got put back in. So I don't know what the future is there. Maybe they don't think they have anybody that could be behind them. I think they should put Roger McCreary on the outside, especially if Bolden comes back from injury, which is a huge disappointment. But I think Roger McCreary should be on the outside. But both of them getting benched is pretty telling. And at the end, it is time to look to the future. And we've been talking about it pretty much this whole show. I think this is it for Vrabel. I think if not soon, he will be. I think he's going to get fired at the end of the year, especially if it keeps going the way that I think it's going. If you're 4-13 or 3-14 by season's end, it's time to let it go, because I honestly do not know where another victory is going to come for the Tennessee Titans. I don't know. Especially if you got to go with Will Levis or Malik. I don't see enough. I might see maybe 2 more victories. Because at the end of the day, like, we got to play Atlanta. Then we got to play Pittsburgh 6 days later. A few days later. So whoever is that quarterback by the end of the Atlanta game needs to be the quarterback going into Pittsburgh. Then you have a mini bye. So I think you play Malik these 2 games with Atlanta and Pittsburgh. If you don't think Malik is the guy after that, you have a mini bye. You get 10 days. You prepare Levis to go the rest of the way. That's what I would do. And it's time to look to the future. You got the trade deadline, after that. Look at some guys. Trade deadline, get some guys in. They may not be ready for Pittsburgh, but then you get the mini bye. They'll be ready. A player or 2 could be ready by the time we play Tampa Bay. So that's what I think needs to happen. Willis will just run every time. He can evade pressure, but Willis has got to let the ball go. You got to let the ball go. He holds the ball entirely too long, and this is an offensive line that's not going to allow you to just sit back and go through 2, 3, 4 reads. It's not going to happen. So it's time to look to the future. And again, this is a very, very tough loss. I know it hurts the soul. And I wish I could be a little bit more positive, but it's really not a lot of positives that come out of this game. NPF being in that left tackle, I think is a good development. Tajay Spears, good player, good dude. You know, um, I still, think and I said this on A to Z Sports. Kearis Jackson has a guaranteed job when he comes back. He'll be the punt returner when he returns. So I think he's completed the 4 games. And so now the Titans have a chance to activate him and get him ready for Atlanta. And so we're definitely going to see, this bye week is going to be a good time for all of us to kind of take a breather, take a step back, kind of just take a break for a minute, and then we get ready for Atlanta. And we're going to find out if they come out sluggish against Atlanta, then all of us could jump off the cliff. I'm on the ledge, and I'm about ready to jump off. And I need somebody to pull me back in, and I think it's time to do that. And I'm with MHVACR. Yeah, Kyle Phillips and Austin is Zach on A to Z Sports this morning was talking about it. Kyle Phillips is not just has already played himself out of being a punt returner. He might be playing himself off this team. And I'm drinking Blue Top rest of the season. I'm probably going to have to go to the liquor store this weekend too and pile up on my liquor because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of drinking. Positives can be a good position in the draft. Right now we're 8th. I hope we get up into the top 5. If we can get up in the top 5, and maybe if, one of those top picks are gone, you could trade back and get more with a team like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, maybe like a Carolina, maybe like a Arizona. They have a high pick. They have a high pick at like 12 and then 35. So we could be picking high in the second round and still pick at 12. So something like that. But I just had to get my grievances out about this game. And let's close the book on this game. I think it is time to look at 2024. D09 says Marvin Harrison Jr. and later Manning Jr. Not sure. I got to see who you're talking about with Manning Jr. But Marvin Harrison Jr. would be great. Lou Man says, I got a weird feeling we're going to blow out Atlanta. I don't know about that. Bijan Robinson's nice. We're going to see. And I'm with MHVACR. Tannehill's injury may have been a blessing in disguise. Tannehill's injury, even though I don't like the fact anybody getting hurt, may have been a blessing in disguise. Oh, Peyton Manning's nephew. Okay. It could be a blessing in disguise, and this is why. With Tannehill and Vrabel, it's the old adage. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. With Vrabel and Tannehill, you will not be good enough. You will be just good enough to maybe make the playoffs, but not good enough to compete in the playoffs. And you'll be picking somewhere in like the low teens, like 17 through maybe 20. But you won't be bad enough to be picking in the top 10 or the top 5. In this situation, you got a chance to be in the top 5. We are still mathematically alive. Overchicken says, Arthur Smith created Derrick Henry. He knows how to stop him. We're going to find out. William Jones says, Tim Kelly tied down in trash. What do they have in common? Vrabel is their boy. Birds of a feather flock together. And he's not lying. Brandon said, he was saying to Mario, he like, longest relationship I've ever had. Mine too. Been married for 12 years. I've been with the Titans for 27 years. And there are parts of me that thought about a divorce. but we're not there yet. So we're definitely going to see. But everybody, I hope everybody is going to have a pretty good Wednesday. Is having a pretty good rest of your Wednesday. Thank y'all for spending some of your afternoon with me. Appreciate y'all letting me talk your heads off about this loss, and we can all kind of talk together about this. I'm gonna try to prepare to do a Truth League report probably tomorrow. I may do it later today, but most likely tomorrow to review after the Cowboys and Chargers game. And then Wednesday, I think Wednesday I'm going to take the day off. I think I'm going to take Wednesday off. I need to decompress. So I think Wednesday I may come up with something small. But other than that, I may take a break this week. I think we all should. And then we'll come back and get ready for Atlanta. Maybe we'll vent some more. But all of y'all, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If any other news comes out in regards to the Titans, then we'll definitely talk about it. But I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show and let me spend some time with y'all. And y'all have a very good rest of your Monday. And at the end of the day, as I always say, we got to stick with them through the good and through the bad. Ms. Mims, I know you want to give up on the team a little bit or take a break from the team, but we can't. I was with this team when they were 9-7 and completed the Music City Miracle and got to the playoffs, got to the Super Bowl. I was with them when they lost to the Ravens in the divisional round. I was with them in the Jeff Fisher year when they went 4-12 and 5-11. I was with them with the Ken Wisenhunt years, and those were some terrible years. I was with them in the Mike Mularkey years, and I'm going to be with them now. We going to stay with them, and we're going to tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Good night. Good day, y'all.